Hey you guys! So I love this advent calendar because it's a fun Christmas project. You get to use fun coordinating paper, and I know whoever I end up giving it to is going to be like, whoa, that is awesome. And it's super fun to pick out little candies and little fun things to put inside. So it's about 3/4 of an inch thick, and it hangs with this little cute ribbon. So watch me put it together. Okay, so I've jumped ahead and I've already put, this is my face of my advent calendar, but let's not worry about that for now. This is the back of my advent calendar, and each of these little boxes started out looking like this. And they are each numbered with a little number here that corresponds with which door it is. So that makes it easy to tell what goes with what. Alright, so I'm just going to glue this tab onto the outside. It could go on the inside or it could go on the outside, but I prefer the outside since you won't be able to see it when you look inside your little compartment. So each one is a rectangle, so it doesn't matter if it goes like this or if it goes like that because it's the same difference. So first I'm going to just fold one side out, which makes it easier to put in place. I'm going to fold it down real nice, and then this one is 20. This one's 20, so I know that it's going to go right here. So now you want to have a nice bright light above your head when you're doing this, and a nice precision tip glue if possible. And I don't want to put too little, but I don't want to put too much. I'm just going to put a thin little line around all four sides of this. And I learned the hard way to be careful not to glue your door shut, because that can happen. But if you do it like I just did, you won't have any problems. So you want to look through and make sure that it's right on the line all the way around, and press your tabs down. So that's what I've done to all of these. Now I just need to put these other ones on. I've got 3 more to put on until I'm finished. Okay, so this is my final little box, and I'm just doing the same thing, putting glue around the edge. And this is going to be on the inside, so it doesn't matter if you make it pretty on the inside, because no one's going to see it. Okay, so to get in between these two, just grab some handy little tool. I've got an X-Acto knife nearby, and I'm just using that to push down the tab to make sure the glue is nice and pressed. Okay. So now on the front, I've already gone ahead and assembled all of my doors and glued most of them on. And I just left 2 to show you. This one's pretty much a no-brainer, but it's fun to see. It's fun to do. This is a fun project. It's nice to see how different papers make it look different. And I like this paper. It's the DCWV homemade stack, and I got it at Joann Fabrics. And it looks kind of like a woodsy, homey kind of natural look to it. It would also be fun to get some of that K & Company paper that's like pink and kind of retro looking. That would be cute if you're making it for a girl or whatever. So there's the last 2 doors, and as you can see on this door, I embossed that with my Cuttlebug, and I inked the edges of most of these shapes with a dark brown ink pad, which also looks nice. So next I'm going to put the sides on my box, and there's 4 that look like this. I'm only going to fold one side first. It doesn't really matter, but since I've already made one ahead of time, I learned that it was easier to work with only one side folded. Alright, so this is going to go right along the edge here. So I'm going to take my glue, and I'm pretty much just doing the same thing I already did, except it's just a long one along the edge. So just take that and put it as best you can right along the edge. It's impossible to make it completely perfect, but just do the best you can, and anyone who sees it will probably not notice any little imperfections. Alright, so I'm just going to do that around the whole calendar here. Okay, so once you've got those glued in place, you just want to fold it up. Fold up each side. And once I finish folding up the sides, I'm going to fold down the edges of each box too. Okay, so as you can see, you want to fold each little tab away from its box. And you want to make sure that your tabs are perforated, because it makes it super easy to fold, and you don't have to spend any time with your scoring tool, because that would just take way too long. So you also want to make sure that you have Scal version 2.012 or later, because that way you can definitely cut these open paths that make up the perforation. Alright, so I've folded over everything. Now first I'm going to put glue around, I'm going to do the edges first. I left my glue uncapped for a little too long, but it's still working. That's good. Okay, so I need to kind of hold this down for a little while to make sure that it's nice and secure. And if there's anything that doesn't feel secure enough, just hold it down a little longer and push it down. Okay. Now these edges have already made this really sturdy. And now this side is just sticking off a little bit, so I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to trim that a little bit. As long as I'm thinking about it, I might as well do it. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to put glue all over the whole thing. And I want to, even though these tabs are overlapping all over the place, I still want to get a little bit of glue on both of them, just to make sure it's nice and well made. So I'm going to put glue on all of these, and I want to work kind of fast so that my glue doesn't dry too much before I'm ready to finish it off. Okay, so I've got glue on the whole thing. Now I'm going to take the back of it and just push it down. Make sure it's nice and even. I got glue on my hands. So now, even though I did everything right, I can feel that this back is a little bit too big. Up here on the top, it's sticking off a little bit. And that is okay, because I'm going to grab my X-Acto knife Actually, I haven't changed the blade on this X-Acto knife in like 5 years, so that would probably help if I had a sharp blade. But you get the idea. So that's what I'm going to do around the edge, and I totally tore that off. Actually, that looks not good. I need to do that with my X-Acto knife that's sharp. But in the meantime, what I'm going to do is take a little sandpaper and just make it smoother. And then when I take my ink pad and I rub it, it'll kind of just conceal that. And we'll pretend like that didn't happen. So later on when I have time, I'll change my blade and I will make the edges a little more perfect. But for now, you get the idea. Alright, so now I need to get my double stick tape, and I need to, I'm going to put the ribbon around the edge. So I've got this double stick tape from American Crafts, which I'm going to put around. I'm not going to put it on the top, I'm only putting it around the sides and the bottom. Alright, so I will peel that off and I will tie my ribbon around. Alright, so I want enough ribbon that I can tie a bow. So I'm gonna overestimate how much I want. Here's like my imaginary bow up here, half of it. So I'll leave that much, and I will start putting this around the edge. And I'm not happy with the edge of my box. I need to trim this up because there's some white paper showing. But I don't want to keep you guys waiting while I change my X-Acto knife. So we'll just go ahead and do that. So there we go. Oh, whoops, don't want to cut that. Okay. So now let's make sure that we have the same amount on both sides. And now I will just, I only want about that much, maybe like an inch or an inch and a half above it. Otherwise it looks kind of out of place, I think. So I'll just tie that in a nice bow. I'm a big fan of the 2 loops, tie 'em in a knot type of bow because that's how I learned, and honestly I can't even tie a bow the other way. So that is totally cute, and now I can get some of these fun little treats out that I picked up today at Whole Foods and at Walgreens. I got this fun little candy bar, fits in there. I got this nice lip gloss, fits in there. I got some Santas. So you get the idea. And a lot of these doors will just, if you just push them down, they kind of just snap into place. But if it's being stubborn and it doesn't want to snap into place, you can just pull this little tab up and push the door in and then put the tab down. A lot of times that'll hold it. Or if the tab is not even helping for some reason, you can also just take the door and kind of angle it. I'm kind of angling that corner in and just pushing it a little bit. So it'll stay closed, and the recipient will have to be patient and wait each day to get their little treat. Alright, so thanks for watching.